Welcome to Jets Rewind. I'm Marty Schupak. I'm in Valley Cottage, New York, and I'm joined by my two very close and dear friends, Ray Clifford in Marysville, Ohio, and Ralph Schrager up in Belmont, Mass. Us three, like you Jet fans, were all reeling after we watched last night's game. The only good part of it was the early game, thank God. But the Jets lost 27-21. I'll just make a couple of opening comments and I'll hear from each of you. There was so many things wrong with that game. It's just incredible how things could really spiral out of control. And the Jets, I guess, they had nine offensive penalties, which is the second most in a game for them in 25 years. Aaron Glenn keeps talking about discipline and shooting themselves. But if you like last night watching that game, all they did was shoot themselves in the foot from beginning to end. Started with that drive, which we were all drooling because the Jets were going through the Dolphins like they were like Swiss cheese. And then our favorite Braylon Edwards, he fumbles the ball. It was a good play by the defensive player. I guess it was who's it, Micah? What's his name?
Was it Minka Fitzpatrick?
Micah
Did he
Fitz.
do that one?
I think it
I
was
think,
him from Jersey City, right down the road from me, where my son Michael Schupak lives. But it was my wife thought something was wrong with me. I was actually up in Raphael like this at 3 o'clock. I was finishing up some business by car in Lowell, Massachusetts. So I got in my car and I rushed down so I wouldn't miss the kickoff, and I was just exhausted. But I'm just I'm at a point. I kind of feel bad for Aaron Glenn. I think the guy is better than Robert Saleh. I think our roster is like much weaker than we thought. There were a couple of good things that came out of it. We're going to talk about it, like Mason Taylor for one. I don't care what the stats show. I don't like Justin Fields. Even on some of his completions, a couple of them to Mason Taylor, he was like late getting rid of the ball. He was open an instant earlier. So I'm very discouraged. After actually Dallas, they have a lousy defense, but we have to get a couple of wins in the next few games. We have a weak part of the schedule. So let me turn it over to, we'll start with Ray because Ray, if you were to see my phone after that offensive pass interference call on Garrett Wilson, I thought they were going to take my phone away for being X-rated. Go ahead, Ray. You start in first.
well, yeah. It was the penalties are just killers, but it wasn't just the penalties. It was just bad decisions at times, bad what I felt was some bad play calling, as usual, and typical. I literally don't know that our pass defense can stop anybody. They'll make a play here and there, but for the most part, the teams just walk down the field on us. But it wasn't a completely discouraging, game because we played really well at times, at least on offense. Um, but either, three fumbles killed us, penalties killed us, bad officiating killed us, bad decisions like fair catching a punt at the 2 yard line killed us, but you know, I'm still not gonna get mad about Aaron or anything. I know the hopes were high, but everybody I think thought the hopes were too high. I thought at times, that first drive was amazing right up until the the last play of that first drive. And I actually thought he scored and then the ball came out until I saw the replay because he didn't see the ball right away. But I'm not sold that Justin Fields is a franchise guy, but I'm fine with him. He's dangerous with his legs. He he isn't the most accurate, but he was pretty good last night for the most part. He wasn't thrown behind everybody. He wasn't the I mean, he looked worse when he in the Buffalo game than by far than he did in this one. And he showed how dangerous he is when we can get him out running. I'd like to see a few more designed runs than just him scrambling for his life. But all in all, it's still early. Aaron's got some work to do. I mean, these penalties are have to be cleaned up. But I think until we're probably looking at you got to change the defensive coordinator. You're just going to have to at some point because
Right.
we can't
Yeah.
stop anybody.
Yeah.
So
Again, we don't know what you're going to replace him with. And I think I texted both you guys. I saw this tweet by Robbie Sabo that they're missing the two defensive back coaches from last
from
year.
before, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, all right, Ralph, let's go to you, and then I want to get right back to Ray. I want to get his take on that offensive pass interference. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I hate talking about refereeing because it's usually a cop out. Losers talk about it, but I'll get into it later with you too because there were some egregious calls, and I don't think the Garrett Wilson one was actually one of them. But yeah, big picture, I just sit and watch this team for 4 weeks, and I see the same team I've seen 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago. We're no closer to being even competitive than we were all those years. And I just look at all these other teams around the league. For 20 years, we waited for the Patriots to bottom out, and they bottomed out, and we were better than them for about a year and a quarter. And now they've already passed us again. And these other teams like Jacksonville, they're coming back up, and Indianapolis is coming back up. It's never the same with us. We're just always on the bottom. We're bottom feeders. We have all these high first round picks, and we have nothing to show for it. I feel sorry for Wilson and for Quinn and Williams. They're wasting their whole careers in this black hole that is the New York Jet franchise. I don't know what they're going to do with Quinnen, if they're going to re-sign him or trade him. I read about a lot of Jet fans thinking it might be better off, getting some value for him than wasting his whole prime on a team that's going nowhere. And I kind of agree with that. Specifics.
Well,
I'm
Ralph,
in.
I want to interrupt you. You said how you don't want to come down on the reffing, and I don't either. I think it's a loser's excuse. But with that said, did you think some of the non-calls on the Jets, like personal fouls,
Yeah, I thought, and so did the announcers. It was insane, and
It was.
the piling on Ruckert was ridiculous. The one with Titman where he got his helmet ripped off right next. Well, Meyer was bear hugging the guy, so it should have been offsetting penalties. And then there was another one where I think it was Fields got tackled about 5 yards out of bounds. That's a
Yeah.
call the Jets get all the time. I mean,
Yes.
Sauce was saying because the Jets are losers, and that thought had occurred to me that there's no respect for the team. Part of it is that they do have to earn it, but of course, that's a stupid way to referee. Now, in that context, I think the Garrett Wilson penalty was absurd. Because they weren't calling those outrageous calls. In and of itself, that's a borderline call. I feel he did push him and he gained some leverage on it. I think that's a call that could go either way. But like I said, in the context of those other ones that they turn their back on, yeah, I understand how that can piss you off. I don't know. That's that's my opening remarks.
what's your take? Because I knew after the second game, I didn't like Steve Wilkes. I mean, last night it was like naked bootleg galore, and there were no adjustments. Nothing was done. So, Ralph, what's your take on Steve
Well,
Wilkes?
I'll say this first of all about uh, I would say Mike McDaniel. I don't think he's probably going to get fired this year, but he could be my offense coordinator any day of the week. I really like the way that guy runs an offense. I felt that way for a few years watching him with Miami. It's a stark difference when you watch the way he sets teams up and keeps them off balance with our garbage up the middle and predictable stuff. As far as Wilkes goes, yeah, I mean, there's absolutely, it's like the Keystone Cops in the backfield. Marty, how many years have we been saying Jet receivers are blanketed, and the receivers on the other team have like got so much space. It's
Well,
crazy. It's just
yeah,
every week. Garrett Wilson has to make circus catches, every time.
yeah.
I don't understand it. And as far as penalties go, early in the game, Brandon Stevens got a pass defense where he got away with a penalty on that play. And he starts celebrating like he wins the Super Bowl. That bothers the hell out of me. This guy, act like you've been there before, even though you got lucky on that play. Very annoying. So, normally I would say, the bad calls do even out, but it got crazy at the end. I don't know what, I don't know, the officials, I feel like they had a train to catch or something. They wanted to get the heck out of there because it was ridiculous. But the sad thing is, and the Ruckert one was the last of the three outrageous calls that they missed, is that you see Aaron Glenn talking to the refs, and I know a lot of coaches would be absolutely livid about that. And you could see how discouraged he was. He just sort of shrugged his shoulders and walked back to the sideline and had visions of like Eric Mangini those last few games at the end of the year. You can see it in his face already. He's feeling that the weight of the Jet jinx or whatever it is. And I don't even think he realized what he was signing up for. That first drive was so beautiful, and when he fumbles, a friend of mine, an old friend of mine who's a Bills fan, just sends me a text and goes, "Seriously, what is with this team?" It's like only the Jets could screw these things up. The only better thing would have been if it was Malachi Corley doing that.
Right. Well, Ralph, it's funny. You mentioned an old friend. Right after that play, I hear from someone I haven't heard from in 5 years, Jeff Brenner.
Oh, Jeff
Jeff Brenner, Ray, who's my old roommate
Yeah.
from Boston University, a big Patriots fan. He just sends me after the fumble, Marty, you can't make this stuff up. I just so it's just incredible. I mean, if you didn't laugh at it, you had to laugh. But I want to ask Ralph, and then I'll get back to Ray. Ralph, your take on Mason Taylor.
Well, I'm happy with Mason Taylor. I think he's going to be a fine player. I don't, he won't be that good with the Jets if they keep Fields, who I'm not a fan of. But he's what I expected. By the way, as far as Braylon Allen goes, he started out his best game of his career. It ended up being a total nightmare for him in more than one way.
Right.
You can see how horrible he felt. And then he gets hurt, and he was lucky that he didn't fumble that one too on the kickoff that he got hurt on.
We didn't get an update on the injury.
No, we didn't. I hope it's not serious, but
I saw something saying it was a sprained MCL, but he would be reevaluated. I said if that's just all it is, we're lucky because when I saw the slow motion of that thing, I thought, oh, he's done.
yeah, that was nasty. That was nasty.
Ray, I want to get your take on the offensive pass interference, but before that, I just want to skip right past Garrett Wilson's tremendous receiving touchdown, which and this guy is like phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like Ralph says,
The one on the pass interference was a sensational play too.
it was too. Yeah, that was too. But Ray and Ralph, I guess, did you see when he was coming off the field, he was mouthing something back and forth to Aaron Glenn.
On which one?
I think it was the one that was good.
Oh, the one that was good.
I don't know if he was mad, and I saw Connor Hughes wrote something like, "I'm not going to repeat what Garrett Wilson was
Well,
saying."
Marty, you had an over/under on when Garrett Wilson has his first meltdown, and I don't know if we'll count that one, but it's coming.
But if you remember, my
Yeah.
meltdown was Tanner Angstrom. If you remember, that was in not Aaron Glenn, but that's true.
Well, is Angstrom upstairs or is he on the field?
I think he was on the field.
Yeah, I don't
Ray,
know.
was he on the
Come on.
field? Did you see him?
I don't remember. I thought they showed him, but I don't remember if
I
it was
thought he
on
was
the
on
field.
the field. All right,
Could've-
Ray, let's get to you because I know one thing, Ralph, that Ray can't stand. His love for the Jets goes beyond Marty Schupak and Ralph Schwarzenegger. And when there's a
Oh, I know
awful
that.
call against the Jets, uncalled for, he goes nuts all the time. So, what did you see, Ray, on that offensive pass interference, and what were your thoughts when it happened?
Well, in real time, we were already griping at the bar about it. I mean, it just looked like, what are you talking about? And they slowed it down. And I agree with Ralph to a point as well. Yeah, that wasn't an outright missed call. I mean, he did. I mean, he did push off, but it wasn't like this the kind of shove you normally see when it's a push off. It was just something he stuck his hand out and almost more like he just slowed the guy down from getting to him. But it's this kind of thing that drives me nuts because it's a judgment thing and we see it all the time and you never know which way they're going to call it. But it seems like we never, just probably our reputation, we don't get the call in our favor more often than not. but that's not the frustration was all the calls all together when I said about the officiating, and the three that Ralph said were the exact three I was going to bring up, especially the one on Ruckert. I mean, that guy wasn't even in the frame of the camera when he was laying on the ground,
You
and all
know,
of a sudden nowhere and lands on
it
him.
was ridiculous. And you know that the one where the rookie linebacker for the Jets got called on Tua on the roughing one. You know, he really just grazed him if you look at it closely, and Tua was
Yeah,
smiling.
yeah, and he was
Okay,
laughing.
if you're gonna call that and you don't call the Ruckert
Right.
thing, I mean that's insane. I just
It is.
Ralph,
It's like,
you're right, but when the guy goes feet first, they have to call it. They have to call it.
I understand that.
well,
Yeah.
but that was a late slide. I think what they called him for was they thought he hit him in the head, but he really didn't.
Right.
I
It
don't.
looked a lot worse in real time than when you saw it
It
in slow
did,
motion. So you give the officials a break
depending on
on
the
that, but
angle too. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, my wife, who watched most of the game with me, knows nothing about football. She said, How are they supposed to stop the momentum?" And I say, "That's an ongoing deal. You know, we go through this all the time too."
Apparently, Miami didn't have to stop the momentum. I guess that guy was running from 15 yards away when he
he
took
was
it.
in a 3-point stance and he took off. It's like,
Well, let me ask you, Ralph, do you think there's a shot this week they'll call up Jamal Pritchard from the practice squad?
uh, I think there's an outside shot. I would bet against it. They should. This guy Williams should be gone because not only is he doing dumb things, he's slow. He's not even dangerous. I mean, there's not at least with Pritchard, he might fumble, but he is dangerous when he gets the ball in his hands. You know, you know.
It was the one he caught at the 2 yard line that killed me.
Well,
That
if
just
if Aaron Glenn, he should cut that guy immediately for
He
that
should.
play. And
Yeah.
I think he goes back with him. So I don't know, but he'll lose a little credibility if he doesn't dump that guy. He was just playing awful ever since he's been here. Every kickoff he's slow on. He offers nothing.
his best return is the one he fumbled on. He was out over
Yeah.
the 40, and then he
Yeah.
kept fumbling.
No, I'd much rather see Isaiah Davis back there. He's
Oh,
not bad.
he's looking a lot better than that first half of the first year.
Oh
He
yeah,
was,
much better.
he was really
One troubling thing I didn't look at the stats really that close, but Arian Smith was in there 46% of the offensive plays.
Hard to believe.
good.
Never saw
I
his
didn't
number
remember
out
seeing
there
him.
either.
Yeah.
I don't think he got one look by Fields.
I don't see, I can't, you see there, he didn't, they're not even listing him as targeted. So that's very discerning. And Ralph, you mentioned you don't like Justin Fields. I think Ray likes him better than both of us. I just think he holds the ball too long.
Well, that's been a knock against him in the past. Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
And as I started at the beginning of the show, and I want to hear Ralph's opinion on him, I even thought on a couple of those Mason Taylor passes, he threw it to him a little bit too late. What's your take on Justin Fields, Ralph?
Yeah, to me, he plays like a rookie. He doesn't pull the trigger. He just seems lacking confidence. After his initial read, he seems to freeze back there. It reminds me so much of Zach Wilson, which is a horrible thing to say about anybody, but this is his 5th year in the league. He should be further along than this. We talked about the coaching staff not having confidence in him, which I think is true to a degree, but I also think he just doesn't have confidence in his own eyes. Later in the game when they needed to throw the ball and air it out, he was doing a few nice things. I just think they baby him. And Marty, I go back to your favorite line from Bill Parcells. Fields hasn't thrown one interception this year. He hasn't even been close throwing it because he's not taking any chances.
Right.
And at a certain point, you got to try it, or it's
Right.
so I'm disappointed. I thought would have come further than this in 5 years.
Yeah, and on the post game show, I think Bart Scott is who's our backup now? He's a big fan of his. He thinks he should be starting.
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor. He thinks the Jets have a better chance to win.
Well, he might be right, but we have to find out about Fields. So,
We do. And Ray, I want to ask you because I was reading some of these guys, and I had heard that and I think they're right. He does not look comfortable when he's in the pocket. Somebody recommended maybe you put him like in a moving pocket, like 1 out of 3 passing plays, because he seems to be more comfortable moving his legs. What do you think about that, Ray?
I've been saying for at least a couple weeks now, get him, call some design rollouts and plays like that. That, let him create what he can see. I mean, he obviously is. I think he's pretty smart about when he takes off running. I don't think he just automatically takes off and gets out of there, like he's just like, let me out of this place. I think he does try and see the field. I think he is slow at making his reads and slow and getting rid of the ball, but uh, I don't know that Brady Cook's quite ready to jump in there and take over, but he could be at some point this
Oh,
season.
wow.
I'd rather see him than Tyrod Taylor.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So would I.
But
Yeah.
I mean, if we look, if we can play more consistently without the penalties on offense that we looked like on that first drive, if we can just have that kind of play calling and consistency, I think we could be a dangerous team. But it just seems like we'll have a drive like that, and then we'll have 2 or 3 stupid drives and shoot ourselves in the foot and make stupid plays or fumble the ball. And so I think there's inconsistency all along the offense.
Well, Miami's got a soft defense. They're not gonna run the ball like that against every team in the
No, not
league.
Well,
everybody. No.
Dallas, they might, because Dallas is
Thank God they don't have Micah Parsons anymore.
right.
I think
Yeah,
trouble.
kill us. Just so you guys know, and then I want to get back to Ralph. I have a question on Ralph's favorite player, Will McDonald. The Jets next week, they host the Cowboys, and the week after, I guess they host the Broncos. I guess that's in England.
Yeah, that's in England. I don't know. And I don't think you can get that on any TV. So you got to fly to England to watch the game.
We'll be at the bar
No,
at 10.
you get it here.
At night, the bar's going to open at 9:30 for that.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
They
you
did last year when they played Minnesota. They
Right.
went there. I was up in Cleveland, so I
right.
couldn't.
Wow.
Yeah, they
The
went.
You going to nurse a beer at 9:30?
the and
Oh,
then after the Broncos, they host the Panthers, and then after that, they go to Cincinnati to play the Bengals, and then the Browns come in. They've
That's a
got
lot
to,
of
they've got to win something with those
yeah.
games.
That's a lot of bad teams with a lot of bad
I
quarterbacks.
mean, yeah, if we
yeah, we have a shot against Cincinnati now.
oh yeah, Cincinnati, yeah,
and of course Carolina. Thank God for them. They're almost as bad as the Jets in
right.
this league.
Everyone's saying New Orleans the worst. I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
it's. I guess it's. Yeah, they seem a little worse than the Jets.
Right.
The Jets lead the league in moral victories. I think we have 2.5 now.
Oh, Ralph, isn't that what we strive for every year? Moral victories at the
Well,
off.
I think we're ahead of our pace. We could break our record.
It's September 30th. Today I still didn't go to the draft simulator. They'll probably right after the show. I'm gonna go.
I've been on it all weekend. I'll tell you something. Nobody knows who the quarterbacks are going to be, what order, or who. It's so up in the air. This will be a year the Jets probably have the #1 pick, and it'll be one of 18 quarterbacks. Nobody knows which one.
Picked the wrong one. So
Yeah. Oh, well. It goes
Oh,
without
yeah.
saying. And
That
if they're not the wrong one, we'll make them the wrong one.
Right. Yeah. And what's his
Good.
name will go back to college in Texas if the Jets have no.
Oh yeah.
He won't
Not
come
if
up.
we're not if we're
No, but I want to mention to Ralph because I saw the stat and on the number of plays, Michael Clemens played 71% of the snaps. Will McDonald played 53%, and they took out McDonald. This is a trend I've seen the last couple of weeks, Ralph, on running plays. What's your take on your guy, Will McDonald?
I mean, I have seen him make a few nice running plays. I haven't seen him rush the passer very much. I can't get too angry about it because he's not putting any pressure on the quarterback. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where teams have figured him out. But after that first game, he's been and the block punt, he's been pretty much invisible, which is bad news for the Jets because Jermaine Johnson is gone. Michael Clemens can't rush the passer. Braden McGregor, he's a practice squad player. He's not good enough. So
Hey, Ralph, not to change the subject, but in about a half hour, the Yankees are going to host the Red Sox. Did you know that Garrett Crochet, the pitcher, is a volunteer? He went to Tennessee.
No, I didn't. I'm going to have to bring that up to all of my volunteer buddies now.
Well, you have to talk to your friend Julie. I think she would.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually, the Mets were thinking about signing him, but that would have been a good sign. He's had a great year,
Yeah,
really.
and by the way, you can't say the word you just said, METS. It's not allowed on the show because,
Well, I like saying it because they're the one team that's more embarrassing than the Jets right now.
right, yeah. Ray, any positives that you see on this team? I mean, we talk about the punter, the field goal kicker, Mason.
And Polk. I
Yeah.
was,
Oh, yeah, really?
I was so mad when I thought we were going for it on at the end of the half, and I'm like, what are you doing? He can hit a 50 whatever. I said, I'd rather try that than just try a Hail Mary, and then they did like an incomplete with 2 seconds and out trotted Folk, and I'm like, yes, and he drilled it. I mean, Folk is fine. He's not an issue, but positives. Brees Hall still looks good.
He
I like
looks
how
good. I happen to think
He disappears though after the
he
first
does.
quarter. They
If
don't use him.
if like
Oh yeah,
Braylon Allen isn't hurt long term and the Jets don't turn it around, I think he's like trade bait. I don't know what
probably.
they're going to get. I don't think they'll get more than a fourth round pick for him.
I'm
But
a little surprised that Garrett Wilson's being as productive as he is since he's the only receiver, it seems like. Well, Mason Taylor's now starting to come around, but I thought, they're just going to smother Garrett, and he
Well,
still
yeah,
finds a
yeah.
way
To
to
me,
make
if
plays.
you're a defensive coordinator, you don't double team him. You should be fired. It's like,
I mean, he's going to find a way to get open and make the catch, even if he's not getting big yards after the catch necessarily. He'll get a few extra yards usually if he has some room to maneuver.
that last play was pretty exciting. Actually, he made it kind of exciting. Garrett did.
Oh,
oh yeah,
yeah.
he did. That was if you remember a number of years ago when the Dolphins were playing the Patriots, the last play of the game, and Adam Gase was coaching the Dolphins, they had one of those plays.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that. What do you call those? Whirly twirly things or whatever it is. They scored a touchdown in the last play of the game, which was
I
unbelievable.
think it was Brian Flores though, who was their
I
coach.
don't think so. I think it was Adam Gase.
Was that I'm guessing? I know there was one with Flores and the
Oh,
Patriots
maybe
at
I'm
the
wrong.
end of the season, what cost the
Well,
Patriots. Um,
when they beat him, though, right? They
the
at the
Miami
end of
beat them. Yeah. I don't know.
I could
They
be
might have
wrong.
done it a
All right.
couple of times.
Quickly, I can't get that much wrapped up in these stats, but I'll just go through a couple. Justin Fields, 20 for 27, one TD,
20 for
200,
27?
yeah, 226
Are you
yards.
kidding me?
I'm telling you, that's
Where
what,
did that come from?
seven rushes for 81 yards. So his offense was over 300 yards. And
oh, that run was beautiful. That run when he
oh,
took
that
off.
was a great
He
run.
was
It was a
the
great.
run.
Think about it. At least the last two games, you have the blocked field goal for a touchdown and the Justin Fields run. So at least they're going to have some sort of highlight reel, Ralph. That I know you can buy the DVD.
Good.
Brees Hall, 14 carries, 81 yards. Braylon Allen, 4 for 26. Isaiah Davis, 3 for 9. Receiving, Garrett Wilson, 6 for 82 and a touchdown. Mason Taylor, my new favorite Jet, 5 for 65. You got to throw to him more. Brees Hall, 5 for 30. Jeremy Record, 1 for 23. Isaiah Davis, 3 for 18. And Alan Lazard, 1 for 8. Josh,
Where's the 220 yards coming from? I'm like,
well, Garrett Wilson
oh,
had
okay, Wilson
82
and
and Mason Taylor had
Taylor.
65.
All right, so that's 140. So yeah, 140.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Um, yeah. And Josh Reynolds, what a waste that guy is. He had no receptions. He was targeted twice. They got to throw to this Arian Smith. I want to see what this guy has.
Just let him run long a couple of times,
Yeah, I know.
please. Just let him run long, or
Yeah, just
for God's sakes, and overthrow him if you have
yeah,
to.
just launch it.
Oh my God. I
Yeah, and I think they got to open up earlier with Fields. Let him. Let him.
Well,
air it out a little earlier in
They
the game. It's
they called a rollout where he can. I don't remember them even calling one where he's
no,
rolling it.
no. McDaniel does that. He has Tua moving around the pocket all the time, and if Justin Fields is rolling out, he puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense because they have to respect his run. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, well, we'll see.
Ray,
Yeah.
how many times you have a better memory in the game? Did the Jets hiked the ball, then a guy came in unblocked from the edge? What did that happen? Two times, three
How
times?
many times? But it was more often than it should have been, and it was usually when it was like third and whatever, and we needed, we either needed like 8 yards, so they needed some pass protection, or it was going to be a, try and run for it, whatever, and somebody would come through unblocked. I mean, it happens so often, it's hard to
I feel
Right.
like
even
Fields
count.
has a part in that.
Yeah. All
I
right.
don't know if they allow him to do any like audibling or not. I don't know if he's just
Wow.
here, go with whatever we call, or if he's afraid to audible. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem like they make very many changes. Now maybe maybe I'm wrong and they are, but it doesn't seem like they go with anything different than what's called most of the time. I haven't seen a lot of audibles.
Well,
So
it's as Ralph says, says we don't know what's going on college quarterback wise. No one does, but it's shaping
yeah.
up that the Jets are probably going to be in the market for drafting quarterback if they're like in the top 5 or 7. I don't know if you guys saw the Oregon Penn State game at all. Um,
No, did you?
I did not see it. I heard it was a great game. I was curious how the quarterbacks played, but since we didn't see it, we won't talk about it. But on defense, just a couple of stats. Jamin Sherwood, 10 tackles. Isaiah Oliver, 9 tackles. Brandon Stevens, 8 tackles. Andre Cisco, 8 tackles. Queen Williams, 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. And Will McDonald had 1 tackle for loss. He had 2 tackles. That's all I'm going to read. It was just sickening. Um,
When was the last time it just had a sack?
I don't know. And we cannot contain the opposition quarterback. You notice that? We have no contain on the ends. Jermaine Johnson, I hope he comes back. He knows how to play the position.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the deal is. He's not on the injured list, the 4 or the long term, so we'll have to see. So anyway, the final score was 27-21. Just quickly, Tua was 17 for 25, 177 yards, 2 TDs. Devon Ashane, 20 carries, 99 yards. They made this guy look so good. Tony Adams is a waste. That guy,
I heard that.
he can't he can't tackle a vacuum cleaner, Ray. I don't understand what our previous administration saw in this guy. Our roster must be so much more weaker than we thought. We have guys there that I don't see how they can make other teams. Tony Adams is horrible. He's a worse tackler than Sauce. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if any of you guys saw
Bring
how
back Jordan Whitehead when where's
well
talking about bad
Jordan
tackling.
Whitehead right now. I'd take him in a second. But Malachi Moore, how did he play? I mean, he made a couple of tackles.
I was he out there except on special teams? Yeah, he wasn't out there very much except on special teams, I guess.
Well, in a way, sometimes when you're dealing with safeties, it's better that you don't hear the name a lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I think he was in. I'm trying. I can't get. I was going to get a count. So anyway, 27-21. We're home against the America's team, the Dallas
Boys.
Cowboys. Any other comments before we close out this episode of Jets Rewind or Ray? Anything? I mean,
Yeah.
we can
Well,
use
there
one or
was
two of those receivers. I mean, can we like slip Jeremiah Smith into a Jets uniform on Sundays?
Yeah, we could just about use anybody about now because I tell you, those guys out of Ohio State, they're making a difference everywhere they go. So they're
Yeah, they
clearly
are.
getting guys who are pro ready. So, but a funny thing, because Ralph had mentioned earlier about Mike McDaniel, if he gets fired, actually in the bar, and I said, it was early in the game, I said, if we beat him, Miami's going to fire McDaniel. I said, and the next day we should be calling to pick him up as our offensive
Yeah.
coordinator. I
Right.
was the same way because, yeah, as a coordinator, I think he's outstanding. I'm not big on him as a head coach, but he wasn't just good. Where was his last play? But San Fran, he
San
was good.
Francisco, yeah.
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 He's Salah's
So
close friend.
Dallas, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
we'll
would have.
see. Ralph, any other closing comments?
Yeah, I about Aaron Glenn. You know, most of what I see is the same stuff we saw with Salah, sloppy penalties, just poor scheme and stuff. The one area I will give him over Salah is that the team does come out on the first series and play hard. With Salah, it was a wake-up call in the middle of the second quarter. So I'll give Aaron Glenn that. I'm not giving up on Aaron Glenn yet. I
No.
really want him to succeed. I like the guy. I mean, he bleeds jet green. If I don't know how healthy that is, but I wanted to just give him one little positive note.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all gunning for him, and if you listen to him, and he's saying the right things. I know a lot of it's repetitive, but I think he's really, I don't know how to put this. I like it a lot better than Robert Saleh, the way he's acting. So
Well, yeah, we liked Sal at
Yeah.
first too, but we realized he was too soft.
yeah,
I just hope Glenn doesn't get too discouraged too quickly because I don't think that Salah started 0-4 any of his years, did he?
no, he was 0-3
No,
his first year.
He was 0-3. When was
Yeah,
the last time the Jets went 0-4? Have you seen
been a
that stat? I
while.
haven't seen that,
I
but
don't know. I know it's been
Might have
floated
been,
around. I don't.
might have been the toe tight years.
Yeah, could have been
oh
that.
my God, that's going way back. I wonder if an 0-4 team has ever made the playoffs. I know 0-3 teams have, but I don't know if an 0-4 team. I know a 1-4 team did. It was the Jets in 2002 when Pennington took over for Testaverde. They were one and
Yeah.
four.
Right.
They ended up 9-7.
Hey, Ray, I got a question for you. If
Yeah.
Baltimore comes and offers the Jets a number 2 and a number 3 for Queen and Williams, do you make that trade?
Mm, only because I think Baltimore's going to turn things around and they're going to be a lower part of the round draft pick. If I thought they were like Cleveland and going to be like towards the top like we are, I'd think about it, but
You wouldn't do it.
I don't want late picks.
Yeah. How about you, Ralph? Number
Yeah, I think what I
two.
do is a conditional. I would say, if you finish under a certain, I'll take a 2-4, but if you finish 12-5, I want
Yeah.
your first round pick,
Yeah.
something like that. At what
Yeah.
point in the season, like
Yeah,
right
that's
now, right
yeah.
now, yeah, that's a lot of season to give them Quinn
No,
Williams.
yeah, you're not going to do it right now.
No,
I'm thinking ahead.
yeah. Well, they could, yeah. I mean, if they have designs on signing him, which they should, uh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and I'd like to see,
Maybe a 2-3. Did you say 2-3 or two and a
yeah, I said
four?
2 and a 3.
2-3. Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think his prime is going to be wasted on the Jets. So
yeah.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, even though he started out, he didn't have a great first couple of games. Quincy Williams is missed at linebacker.
oh,
Oh,
oh my God, the
You could
drop
see
off is
it.
frightening. It's just
Even his
Sure.
even his bad games, there's such a drop off.
yeah, it's
I think they
unbelievable.
were rotating like five guys in there trying to take his spot just on every play. It seemed like
Right.
there was different out there.
So is this the first or second game he missed, Ray?
I
Second?
think he got hurt in the
He
last
got
one,
hurt
didn't
in the last game.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. So we got 3 more games to go. All right.
he?
Okay. Go ahead,
One
Ray.
other thing. And I'm not saying it would have changed anything about the outcome, but I don't know about you guys, but remember the last punt by Miami and it hits at the goal line and bounces back to like the 2. That's how we ended up on the 2. And I was like, that was awful close, did it? I mean, he probably got the call right, but did it hit the
Yeah.
goal line? And then they showed the replay, and all they show is the ball rolling back to the 2. They don't show where it hit, which
The,
is what I wanted to see on the
the
replay.
replays are awful. They
Oh,
only
terrible.
showed, I wanted to see every one of Mason Taylor's catches on the replay. They didn't show one, they showed the one he dropped. Remember that one? They showed that, and it's terrible. And a
They
lot
don't
of
call the jet tacklers either because you got all these guys. I don't know who they are playing linebacker, and they don't even call their names out. My one other thought, after Braylon Allen fumbled the ball, it would have been nice if the Jets defense had, come to his
No.
aid instead of giving up a 96-yard drive. I mean, that's pathetic.
It is. It really, and look, Steve Wilkes, he can't have his defense make a stop.
Was it a Shane who ran for the touchdown later on that was like at the 8-yard line and he had like 5 guys around him at the goal line and only one guy even
Tony Adams fanned on that. And
Yeah.
actually they said
Oh yeah. Early on.
Sauce did his job turning him inside, I think.
Yeah.
And when they had the 4th and 5 Miami on the 5-yard line, and they decided to go for it, you knew that they were going to score the touchdown there.
That was the play over Sauce. And he was on him pretty good.
He was on it pretty good. That was a nice play, but teams find a way to do that to the Jets.
Well, and what I was hoping was that whoever was the safety or the DB coming over to also help out, I was like, it's illegal to shove them out of bounds now. They don't. It's not a judgment. Would he have come down in bounds if either of them had hit him when he was up in the air?
Yeah.
He probably would have.
I thought there was no way he was in bounds. I was surprised when I saw the replay.
Yeah. Leave it against the Jets.
But then again, I thought Garrett Wilson there's no way he was in bounds on that first touchdown. It's like, man, my God, these guys are really remarkable the way they just do it.
By the way, talking about athletes, I was watching part of the Giant game. I was up at my daughter's Sunday. I don't know if you know who he is, Ralph or Ray, but the Chargers who lost the game, they have a running back. This guy's unbelievable. They got
the Charger.
Yeah, his name is Hampton. You'll see him during the year, something like Omarion Hampton.
He was a very high. It's like a second-round pick from North Carolina. Yeah.
Wait till you see this guy. He's like a combination, like of Mercury Morris, Gale Sayers. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wait till you see it. You'll see him during the year. All right, for Ralph Schrager, for Ray Clifford and Marty Schupak, Jets Rewind. Until next time.